Do you know what I realised last night? If it's the end of the line, why do we need a roadblock? If it's the end of the line, it's going to be pretty obvious that it's the end of the line, so you don't need a roadblock. Anyway, I'm Simon from What Culture, and last night we did have the 437th pay-per-view of the year as WWE presented Roadblock End of the Line. But was it good? Or was it bad? Or was it actually just a souped-up version of Raw? Let's find out by upping those downs. I had to think about this for a while, but after careful consideration, I have decided to give the Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens twist an up. The only issue I have is that the two are eventually going to fall out again. And given that the last few weeks of programming on Raw have been about them falling out, it's going to fall a little bit flat. It's just the law of diminishing returns. The more you do something, the more the people watching the thing that you're doing start to tune out. But with that said, I enjoyed how the story played out through the night, and seeing Owens and Jericho embrace at the end was just lovely. I mean, it didn't really make sense that Jericho attacked Owens, because he could have just attacked Reigns and Owens would have still walked away with his championship. I mean, I know that means that Reigns would have won, but who cares about that? Owens is still champion and he didn't have his ass kicked. Now we'll see how they split up again, and given all of this, it better be something pretty damn amazing. But maybe it will be amazing, which means all of this and all of that is great. The match itself between Owens and Reigns was good as well, and I was particularly impressed with good old Roman. The whole hate thing has got to the point of parody now, because he is a very good wrestler who has very good matches, and yeah, I know it's because of the other person, but that argument falls flat when he keeps having good matches. It takes two to tango, and Roman Reigns is tangoing well. Furthermore, him looking super pissed off after the match and Jericho having a face that was literally full of terror was awesome. Why they can't do more stuff like that with Roman Reigns, I will never know, because every time he does stuff like that, he comes across like a badass. And then there was the mini Shield reunion, complete with fist bump. I hope that leads to Reigns eventually turning on Rollins, but either way, it was fun. Doesn't have to go anywhere for now. It made sense in the moment, and the moment is all I care about. So all of that is an up. A quick up for Jericho versus Rollins as well. It was a strong enough match and did its job in tying into the main event. Even if Owens didn't actually cost Jericho anything, because even after he had come out, loads still happened until Jericho lost. But we'll just ignore that. I liked the last 2 minutes of the Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn match. Everything before that, I am just not a fan. So that is a down. For starters, I saw Strowman have Zayn beat in the middle of the ring, but it was he who decided to keep the match going. So you can't get to the end of the bout and then tell me, ooh, Sami may have had a chance of winning. No, he didn't, because Strowman could have beaten him 5 minutes earlier. That doesn't work. I already know that he had his ass beat. Then the whole stuff with Mick Foley coming down to try and throw in the towel, even though that took up loads of time and the gimmick of the match was time. I don't know, it just didn't make any sense. Why are towels now in wrestling? We don't see towels in wrestling. Ultimately, I just don't know if we're trying to build Zayn or if we're trying to build Strowman. The program doesn't seem to be helping anyone, and we're probably going to get more of it on Raw. And on top of that, we all know how it's going to end, with Zayn getting his butt absolutely handed to him. This is lost on me. The Iron Man match was a solid encounter between Sasha Banks and Charlotte, so it gets a swift up. It does seem mad that the title has changed hands again, with Sasha always winning it on Raw and Charlotte always winning it back on pay-per-view, but this was a good back and forth encounter with plenty of drama, with plenty of twists, and plenty of turns. I'm not sure about the finish, where babyface Sasha tapped out with only 2 seconds to go, even though you could have just switched everything, with Charlotte being in the lead and Sasha making her tap out to the Banks statement. That way, when Sasha ultimately did lose, you've created more sympathy for her, whereas this way, Charlotte kinda just kicked her ass. It was still good though, so I can't complain, even though I just did do a bit of complaining. The real question is that the end of the feud? We will see, because you just never know. Although it was a bit sudden for the New Day to lose their titles so soon after beating the record, their match with Sheamus and Cesaro was the best of the night, and therefore, it gets an up. Kofi, Big E and Xavier were outdone even though they tried to cheat their way to victory, and Sheamus and Cesaro's fake tag at the end of the match was just great. That made it like a fake sport where one team fakes out the other team and the other team falls for it. I would have preferred a bit more unity from the new tag champs, as I thought that's where the program was headed after their barroom brawl a few weeks ago, but that's pulling at straws. It's a minor gripe, and now I hope the New Day go full on heel and the tag team division starts to feel fresh and exciting again. Like bread. The Cruiserweight match. So much good, and then it just falls into a submission match. WWE, I don't want to see submissions from my cruiserweights. I literally just want to see flippy shit down. I just don't get what the plan is here. During the Cruiserweight Classic, all these dudes did was jump around and look cool, and now they get to Raw and they do the complete opposite. I've already got the complete opposite on the rest of the card, so don't let them do what the rest of the card is doing, because the rest of the card is already the rest of the card. Stop clipping their wings and let them fly. Literally. A huge up, though, goes to the returning Neville, who walked to the ring and schooled all those fools and looked like an absolute monster. Putting names like that in the division is gonna help no end, and Neville is so good he could carry the whole thing. In fact, put the title on him ASAP and let him hold the title for years. I mean, genuinely years. He's so talented and so underused, it literally hurts my spleen. But yeah, fantastic return, fantastic fire. Neville, you the man. Rusev was on the kickoff show. All that build, all that story, and he gets put on the kickoff show. Down. It's barely worth talking about because Big Cass got counted out and now the two are having a rematch on Raw. However, that does lead into this. The biggest problem with Roadblock is that everything that happened could have happened on Raw, and all that stuff happening on Raw probably would have benefited the show, especially when that show needs good content like this. And with that in mind, Roadblock is a down. It's the curse of having a pay-per-view because you have to have a pay-per-view as opposed to needing a pay-per-view. You've still got a weekly television show that needs twists and it needs turns. And like I just said, you could take all of this and put it on there. That includes the matches too. I really hope WWE addresses this in 2017. I really do. And that was that. Roadblock was all right, but it didn't feel too important. It kinda just existed. However, it is always nice to wake up on a Monday morning, flip on the WWE network, and watch some wrestling. Well, that is if you're British and old like me, meaning you can't stay up for the pay-per-views anymore because it ruins your entire week. Age, man. It's like a shark. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and, all together, like, share, and subscribe. Then you can come follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from What Culture, and I will see you tomorrow for Raw's Ups and Downs, so be excited for that. Or don't be excited. They're your emotions, you control them, so pick one and do whatever the hell you want.
Swinging back and forth, this one, for the Internet title here in WCPW and the GFW Next Gen Championship. And all still utterly relentless in her pursuit of her rival. Talk about edge of your seat. I keep looking at fans and they are wide-eyed in disbelief at how well Kid is doing here. Primate goes straight after Rampage. Wow, he didn't even want the lumberjacks out. One of these two teams will be leaving with those belts around their waist. Kidding me? Hold on. Are you kidding me? Did I just imagine? The WCW World title about to be on the line. Joseph Connors faces his two arch nemesis, Joe Hendry and Drew Galloway. The title in jeopardy like never before